Welcome back to Soul Renovation. I'm Adeline Atlas, 7 times published author. Be forgiving, be understanding. But don't be a fool definition. Forgiveness is spiritual. Understanding is divine. But discernment is survival. Being heart-led doesn't mean being blind. You can see the best in people and still recognize when it's time to walk away. Be forgiving, be understanding. But do not be a fool. Let people have grace. But don't let them have repeated access to your peace if all they do is disturb it. There's a big difference between spiritual maturity and self-betrayal. Forgiveness is powerful, but when it's not paired with discernment, it becomes a revolving door of disrespect. You were not put on this earth to be everyone's emotional landfill just because you understand where their pain comes from. And I get it. You're wired for empathy. You see people's patterns. You understand their childhood wounds. You hear the reasons behind the betrayal. You get the trauma that fuels the behavior. But here's what you have to remember. Understanding does not require you to stay. You can overstand their pain and still choose distance. You can forgive them and still revoke access. You can wish them well and never let them near you again. Because if forgiveness is the release, boundaries are the lock. You can't keep healing in an environment that keeps re-injuring you. That's not compassion. That's codependency. That's not love. That's self-abandonment. At some point, your healing has to become non-negotiable. And that means no longer entertaining cycles that require you to lose your clarity to keep the peace. People will test your kindness. They will weaponize your heart. They will spin your understanding into weakness. And it is not your job to prove otherwise. Your job is to be rooted in truth. Their reaction is none of your business. Because at the end of the day, it's not about how much grace you give. It's about how much peace you're willing to protect. Let's call it like it is. Some people aren't confused. They're calculating. They know exactly what they're doing, and they count on your understanding to keep the cycle alive. They love that you're heart-led. They love that you're forgiving. They love that you're spiritual. But they're hoping you'll confuse your integrity with accessibility. And that's where you draw the line. Forgiveness is for you. It's to cut the cord, clear the emotion, detox the connection. It doesn't mean you re-enter the dynamic. You can heal without reopening the door. You can release resentment and still raise your standard. You can be the one who ends the cycle, not because you're angry, but because you're awake. This is the season of sacred boundaries, of emotional intelligence with spiritual fire, of kindness that's clear, not confusing. And if they call that cold, so be it. Let them say you changed. Let them miss the old version of you that tolerated things in the name of compassion. You didn't become cold, you became conscious. So be forgiving. Be understanding. That's your nature. But never forget, your peace is your responsibility, and protecting it doesn't make you harsh. It makes you wise. The School of Soul Vault is my private monthly membership designed for those who are done just listening and ready to start building. Inside, you get full access to my video series, the unfiltered teachings, the strategy, the game plans, everything I don't share anywhere else. If you're ready to grow in silence and rise with precision, this is where it happens. Join the vault. Monthly access. Lifetime impact.